What's rocking, guys? Welcome to what I will consider probably the season finale of this LA Galaxy rebuild career mode. So, we are going to take a look at the first transfer we're making here for season 3. It's going to be a versatile right mid slash left back slash right back in Shaquille Moore. He is a player who kind of just grew up playing for FC Dallas along with playing in the U.S. national teams, U.S. youth national teams. He's had a couple of chances here and there with the full national team, but a fairly cheap transfer who will bring in here, and he can give us a lot of versatility in that right mid and left back position. As that's an area where I think Danilo Costa has been growing a bit, but I think Moore has a little bit higher upside. So you can see us training him into that left back spot. 73 overall. He's very good physically. He's pacier, much pacier and stronger than Acosta. That was the main thing that I was looking for when I was like using players in games. That was the main thing that I was kind of having issues with. Acosta just wasn't pacey enough for certain moments when I was controlling him in game. But he has really good work rates for a defensive player, medium high. He's a guy who played basically like one season, I believe it was, in the La Liga. Had a couple of promising appearances. Since then, has been kind of hanging around there in the second division of Spain now, as well as kind of the third division. But I actually had a big problem with attempting to record. I actually recorded everything. I lost the whole file. So unfortunately, you will see that we did run through the MLS this season here. This was kind of our team, which is way too good. So you can see us with Julian Araujo there, along with Big Getter next to the MLS Cup, and we didn't have to face Seattle or anything, and that was the main storyline I was going to have of the season, trying to overcome Seattle, because they absolutely dominated us last season, in the regular season, along with the playoffs. But they were eliminated from the playoffs. So in the end, it was a very easy run, I thought, to the MLS Cup, a little bit too easy. But of course, the whole point of this career mode was because having just kind of these storylines, as well as this rebuild. I think in the end I might actually turn this into a one episode thing, take all these episodes to create and turn into one big kind of rebuild video. I think that's the direction I may go with this, but we'll see. So again, player of the tournament was Cameron Dunbar, incredible. The goalkeeper of the tournament was Nacho Navarrete. So you see a lot of the guys that we attempted to bring in are the ones who have really just taken over for us. So Dunbar, of course, was a guy who I focused on developing, and we turned him into the best striker in the league, essentially. And of course, Nacho, our first youth academy signing, has turned into an incredible goalkeeper also. So in season 4, we're really going to we're going to sell a lot of these guys who developed with us, is a thing I'm saying we're going to do. I mean, again, you can see the MLS Cup. We completely dominated the Western Conference also. Complete, utter domination, you'll see. Really, no one very close to us. We're the best team, not in just in our conference, but in the league. So, yeah, we were 9 points ahead of Seattle Sounders. We were much better than them, and of course they were our nemesis last season. But our team was just too good good this season. All our players were at very high levels. You can take a look at the overall ratings shortly. I'll take a look at that, and then you can see the Eastern Conference. Judging by that, we would have won the Supporter Shield, which basically goes to the best regular season side. So we won the Supporter Shield, which really would be like first place in the league, and I think sometimes it can be more important in the playoffs. So yeah, you can see that Philadelphia wasn't really close to us. So in the end, we won the Supporters Shield, we won the MLS Cup. We were amazing this season. All our players are really at almost their maximum levels, except for a few players here and there, of course, who do have very high potentials. But for MLS, they're all at very high levels. So Nacho Navarrete up to 71 overall, who has the exciting prospect. Julian Araujo, 78 overall, showing great potential. Everyone was very good, to be honest. Gonzalez, you can see, was 76. Sonora was a 78. Alvarez was 72. 74, Leggett. And of course, Dunbar, 72 overall, has potential to be special. And Oweya was at the 77 overall. So I just want to showcase some of those players because a couple guys are probably going to be getting some potential changes. That is why I highlighted that. So 2 top scorers in our league were 2 players on our side. It was 21 goals Dunbar, 19 goals Oweya. That's just how good we were attacking wise. Pretty amazing to see. Second in the league in assists was 13 for Leggett. Sonora had 10. So that's a very good output. Weah had 6, and we'll basically sort them a little bit more for you guys. So 21 goals for Dunbar, 19 for Weah, 8 for Alvarez, 7 for Leggett, 4 for Senora, along with more, 3 for Jonathan Perez, Gonzalez with 2, Powell and Eric Palmer Brown with a goal each. Then assist-wise, you guys kind of saw it earlier. I did miss Efrain Alvarez, though. Last year, Dunbar led in both goals and assists, which is pretty amazing. But this time, it's Leggett with 13, Sonora with 10, Efrain Alvarez with a great 8-goal, 9-assist output season. 6 assists for Timothy Weah, 2 for Dunbar. So that was very amazing to see. So you can see exciting prospect is Nacho Navarrete. You can see some of the growth of some of these players going into the next season now. So I sent him to season 4. You can just kind of see really quickly. Exciting prospect now is Julian Araujo. So he's now at the 85 to 90 potential, and pretty much are going to be transfer listing a lot of our side, honestly. I think we're too good for MLS now, obviously. They're all at stages in their career where they need to try to move on to Europe. So we're going to try to sell as many of these players who brought us back to the promised land, back to MLS Cup. We're going to try to sell as many of them as possible. You can see basically Conte getting a good offer from Brighton. We're going to accept that. I'm trying to accept offers that actually make sense also. So like example, Argentina for Palmer Brown, I'm not going to accept that. But Sporting for him, not bad. I'm going to accept that offer. I think he's ready to go back to Europe and try to build a steady career over there. He's still very young. So in response to those 2 transfers out, I can confirm Conte and Palmer Brown to be sold. We're going to go for USA International. We're going to go for John Brooks. He is now 30 years old. He's still pretty pricey in the end, he would be, but considering the fact we're going to be losing almost all our like pretty good chunk for starting 11, I'd say at least 7 starters will be leaving for us. You'll see Leggett, Dunbar, probably the guys who are going to be staying for the most part, along with our fullbacks. Backup fullback in Acosta and Moore, who was a starter. So, but pretty much apart from that, everyone should be leaving. We're going to get some scouting going here in Mexico, USA, and Argentina just to see. Try to bring some more players to help strengthen our side, because I wouldn't mind keep on doing like a 1-season episode type of thing with this, but I could certainly maybe end it now after this episode and turn into one big like rebuild episode, as I think I could do. I'm not sure what you guys think. That might be the way to go. But we're gonna go for a guy who's very familiar with Matt Miazga. He's still sitting there at Chelsea, basically on the bench. He's not a starter at Chelsea, quite clearly. So let's save him from there. Get him, help us bring us another MLS Cup to our side, because obviously we lost our 2 amazing center backs, and we're losing most of our team. So there has to be some sort of MLS exception for that, considering the fact that we are selling most of our team for very high, honestly, very, very high transfer fees you'll see for some of our players coming up. But this is the type of movement you're seeing from this side. This is what you expect to see from a team that's developing so many players. Now you can see Conte, again, 12 million euros. Palmer Brown, 7.9 million euros. Obviously, we'd like to get John Brooks for cheaper, but I thought it was just time to let them go at this point. They won us a title. And yeah, there's no point in making them stay on with us, but a little bit pricey for me, these transfers for John Brook and Matt Miazga, but of course they played international football together. They're very good players, so they're more than good enough for the MLS level. But you see Jonathan Gonzalez is going to be leaving in the summer for 9.2 million euros. So that's another guy you'll be seeing leaving. So we kind of replace those center backs, but there's plenty other players that we won't necessarily replace. 22.4 million euros to Porto will be leaving Joel Sonora, and then Julian Araujo going for 35.3 million euros to Napoli, while Timothy Weah went for 51 million euros to Hertha Berlin. So those are some amazing transfers, and that's really not it for transfers, man. There's going to be plenty of other transfers actually happening in and out of the club that we'll have to make. So pretty much we'll be simming this whole season until we possibly get to MLS Cup is the plan. Just do kind of like a whole rebuild series goes about. But Marco Gomez, 65 overall goalkeeper. He is one that is likely going to be taking over from Nacho Navarrete next season, if not this season. We'll see some offers going for them, because both Nacho and Efrain Alvarez do have a release clause. that I cannot take off. And I was just thinking, hey, it's not a bad thing to have it for these players in the end. You can see it's going to be obviously a quite different team. We do clearly need a left mid, because yeah, it's not good enough in that left mid spot. Perez, Powell could be okay at the right mid. Cortez did have a potential before, but it's not showing, so hopefully he can get a downgrade from not playing enough or something like that. But you can see that we did get rid of a backup goalkeeper in the Canadian Edwards, going to Atlanta United for 1.5 million euros. Then Efrain Alvarez did end up going to SC Braga for 18 million euros. So that is another player leaving us, of course. Pretty much every player on our thumbnail is gone now. So I think it's kind of a good thing that I did like combine these two teams, these two seasons together. So we're going to address the left mid position. I had a few players I was looking at, but I think considering the success of Matko Milovic, Sonora, the Argentine-American winger, we're going to bring in Matko Milovic to help us strengthen up that left mid position. He can also tuck in, probably play centrally also. Let's give us some options there. Sebastian Sacedo, I was thinking he's still at Pumas. I think I can maybe bring him or Jonathan Amon, who's in England now. But we're going to pay for that release clause. He's pretty cheap, man. 9.3 million euros is not too bad. And considering all the transfers we've had to leave us, that's very affordable, to be honest. And you can certainly make tons of profit on him in a couple of seasons. Considering the fact he's already 73 overall. He's 22 years old. He can certainly grow quite a bit. We saw the Joao Sonora go up to 78 overall. And he's going to be a very important player for us this season as we try to round this season out. He didn't want a release clause, and I was like, we're good on that release clause for now. But yeah, I'm really excited for this transfer. He's a guy who's actually been pretty highly touted by both the Argentine national team, the Croatian national team, and then also the USA national team. So I think he's going to be a nice player to bring in for us. So that wraps up one signing to help us strengthen up that left mid spot. We're going to bring in Haji Wright. He was a very highly touted youth prospect who came through the LA Galaxy Academy. Now he's playing over in Denmark, I believe it is, and he's scoring lots of goals at the moment in real life, but I thought, hey, he's still in Denmark. We might as well bring him back to LA Galaxy. I think it's kind of not too much of far off a level of a league. And he's seen how we've been developing players and sending him back to some better clubs in Europe. So he certainly will have a chance to kind of showcase himself for the club. Again, he played for the LA Galaxy Academy. He's from Los Angeles, so I think it makes sense for him and maybe to come back and showcase for us and be a starter. So we're going to go with the 4-4-2 now. Milovic is going to be on the left. Haji Wright is going to be up top with Cameron Dunbar. Middle is going to be the youngster Simon Cortez, along with Leggett. On the right will be Powell. Fullbacks now will be Danilo Acosta and Shaquille Moore. And then our center backs will be, of course, Miazga, as well as John Brooks. So again, we did lose Nacho Navarrete. I was kind of alluding to it before. The best goalkeeper last season, but replacing him will be two very good goalkeepers. Has potential to be special is Gomez, the Argentine goalkeeper. So I think, hey, we're creating like a really good kind of connection with Argentina. Argentina. I don't know what's going on in my head there with pronunciation. We're creating like a network between them. So I think it makes sense that we continue to scout in Argentina and then of course continue to scout in USA and Mexico. But again, you can see kind of some of the players here along with the ratings. Haji Wright is 70s, is a pretty good MLS level. And in the end, we did overtake the entire season. We pretty much ran rampant in the end. Even without our amazing players, we still were first place in the Western Conference. Again, 79 points. Eastern Conference, of course, we did have our best players there for half of the season, so that helped quite a bit. But again, we ran away with the Supporters Shield, easily the best team in the league. So we'll actually sim the playoffs and get to the MLS Cup. I'm sorry for spoiling it, but this team is, even with the different players in the midfield up top now, our backline is so good, especially that I think it makes up for any areas where we may not be good enough. But you can see we did beat Real Salt Lake in a sim match to get to the conference finals, and in the MLS conference finals we'll play the Portland Timbers, who have given us troubles in the past. We played them actually last year. We played them in the, I think it was in the conference finals as well, or the conference semifinals. So yeah, of course I messed up with the recording, so that didn't help anything. Unfortunately, with showcasing that, I did plan to showcase at least the the playoffs, if not just at least the MLS Cup match. We did end up winning that one against Portland Timbers, and now we'll be playing against NYCFC against in the MLS Cup. And of course, that's like a big matchup, always kind of a dream match of the two big cities on each coast, between New York and LA are always, of course, usually kind of have a bit of bias because of the tension on them. You can see Matt Miazga, John Brooks getting ready there. You see some NYCFC players getting ready for this big matchup at home at the Dignity Sports Health Park. I still will call it StubHub forever because that's how I know it. I actually have been to games in LA Galaxy's stadium quite a bit. Seen some Chivas USA games, seen quite a few Galaxy games, and it's a really nice venue actually. So you will see what this club is all fighting for. Of course, Sebastian Lletget has been the captain for a while. He's been here. He was here for the bad seasons. He's been here. He's going to be here for the good seasons. And he will try to help us wrap up another beautiful MLS Cup for our side. As you can see, at New York City's route to the final was Columbus Crew in New England Revolution, having to beat them. And we'll get into the lineup shortly. I do love that we have some more real faces on our side. To be honest, I felt kind of weird not having have many real faces. So it's nice to bring in Matt Miazga and Brooks just for like that purpose. I'm a big real game face person at times, just because I think it brings more of the presentation. But you can see the lineup again: Marco Gomez in net, Shaquille Moore at the left back spot. At the right back, Miazga, Brooks, Acosta, Muljevic, Lletget, Cortez, Pau in the midfield, Wright and Dunbar up top. And the NYCFC has a very interesting side, actually. They did bring one player over from Europe in Timothy Chandler. You can see him walking away right there, another player with the game face. I think he's going to be playing in the right mid spot also, and like maybe a three back. We'll take a look at their whole side. You can see they actually have Jack Rodwell also. Castellanos up top. Mitrita, very good player. Medina, Chandler at the right mid. Parks and Ring in the midfield. That's a really good midfield. Matarita, Cayenne, Chanot, Tinnerholm, and at the back and Room in net. So pretty good side actually NYCFC puts out there. They don't exactly have like the firepower of like a Seattle Sounders or something, or other clubs that have pretty big name DPs like Inter Miami or something like that. But it's gonna be a tough matchup. They have a pretty good mix of midfield attack and defense. And we'll see how we come on this one. But a big tackle from the youngster Cortez. What a tackle. Powell gets the ball back to Cortez. And back here to Haji Wright. Nice little 1-2 played between Wright and Lletget. Look at this build-up play. Unfortunately, Wright hits it right at the goalkeeper as a little bit of alliteration right there with those names. But now NYCFC is going to try to get back on this attack. Mitrita is going to have a bit of space here on the wing. Miazga is going to play this perfectly, though. Force him into the touch line, of course. I've heard actually good news about maybe using World Class with sliders is the way to go. So that's something I might have to think about later on, just because to try to keep up that weird competitive mode style of play. Even if we don't have it on, there's still competitive mode basically. But a great ball played over Typer Milivovic to Dunbar, and Dunbar is going to put them in the back of the net. Basically, this guy has 99 finishing. I never changed his development plan from Poacher, so he actually has like 40 short passes and like 99 finishing. That's something I gotta change because weak foot actually isn't the best though either. I thought I changed it, but I think that it didn't go through at one point or something like that. I think I accidentally forgot to save it. It was like I did when I already saved, and after I saved it, I changed his dev plan. But what a goal from Dunbar, who likely will be spending his last season here in the LA Galaxy. Has had an amazing turnaround in his career, has just grown so much, and obviously dynamic potential has been huge with him now. A great ball here to Dunbar, just goes through. Dunbar hits it first time, and now up 2-0 in the 20th minute. Looks like this could be a cakewalk for LA Galaxy against NYCFC and against New York City Football Club. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, though, because they obviously got some good players. They can certainly come back in this one. They had tons of possession, to say the least. Now, Wright going to have the ball here into some space for Milivovic. He's going to put this back post to Dunbar, who's going to grab his hat trick in the 35th minute. And if you're going to leave a club, that is the way you're going to leave the club, with a hat trick in a final. That's an amazing way to cap off your career at your homegrown club. But anyway, CFC is not going to go away. Clearly, we're trying to win the ball back, but the ball just goes through, and Medina is going to grab that goal to make things 3-1. It's going to be an interesting fixture still. Like I said, I mean, defending in this game is a bit of a pain, and you can see in that 52nd minute, NYCFC just somehow gets that ball through, and that is a very good play in the end to make things 3-2. That is not what you want to see, possibly bottling a 3-0 lead. And you'll see we're going to have tons of chance to try to make things better for us. Shaquille Moore is going to be coming up with a good overlap and just puts that over the bar. That could have been a big dagger to put things away, but now NYCFC was to have a chance here. But still on the attack, Cortez here to Dunbar to Powell. The youngster cannot get a good effort on goal right there. Just not testing the goalkeeper enough in the end. Now right here to Dunbar. Dunbar here to Cortez, playing the ball over to Powell. Again, another chance on goal he has, and that is right at the goalkeeper. So again, struggling with those opportunities to put them away in the back of the net. And we'll see what we can do. Now Powell is going to play the ball forward. In the end, we do run away with victory. Actually, NYCFC didn't put much of a challenge in the second half. So a big victory in the end that was for the guys. Just getting away with this thanks to Dunbar. 3 goals. What a performance from him, celebrating with his new partner up top in Haji Wright. It's going to be more turnover for this side because, we're going to see Dunbar leaving probably the next season. Leggett will probably stay, but for the most part, I do think it's going to be maybe similar club. Maybe we'll see some changes in the back line. Maybe Acosta and Moore will leave us, and we'll have to kind of strengthen up again at the back. But you can see the guys celebrating. Wonderful players here. Of course, this is a great side. Just the turnover, really nothing changed despite the change in players, which is always amazing to see. Leggett, of course, the captain, walking up there. He's been here through it all. He was here for the rebuild seasons where we did not make the playoffs, and now he is here to help guide his side to MLS Cup. You see him celebrating next to John Brooks. There, a guy who probably gave a lot of veteran leadership, also coming over. Him and John Brooks obviously were the veterans. John Brooks has probably seen a lot more, of course, having a much longer career in Europe, and that is amazing to see this young side comer. Also, Daniel Steres was a big guy in the rebuild. Also started first throughout that rebuild season, for most of the rebuild season, and was a key figure for us. And he's been a veteran leader also. It's nice to see him end his career with the MLS Cup. He actually was here for pretty much all the terrible seasons before also, when you think about it. So that's awesome to see this side. I would like to have this celebration with guys like Timothy Weah also, but in the end, we are clearly the best side. 2 championships in a row, 2 MLS Cups in a row, showcasing our class that we are the top of MLS again. Of course, really not. It's a different approach. We developed more younger players. We sold them off, and we brought in some other players with the big profits we made, and kept the thing going. Plenty of youth academy players started for us. Of course, Inet Gomez, Cortez, and Powell helped us in the end of the season. Dunbar also. And of course, Dunbar, you guys saw before, 26 goals, 36 matches. Ran away with the Golden Boot. Clearly the best striker, the best scorer, if not the best player in the league. Leggett ended the season with 7 assists, so really not big on the assists were some of the players this year. But it was amazing to see. You can see John Brooks now sitting there at the press conference with that title, with the MLS Cup trophy. Player of the tournament was Dunbar. Golden Boot was Dunbar. He was clearly the best player again. So we'll get into maybe some more of the Squad Hub stuff, but just so you guys can see the team we pretty much ended up with here to maybe possibly round the series. So Marco Gomez up to 67 overall with potential to be special. A couple other goalkeepers you can see there. Shaquille Moore 77 overall. Danilo Costa up to 73, who lost the starting spot last season but won it back this season thanks to Araujo leaving. It's nice to see him playing at that level. 77 overall is now Matt Miazga. Maybe he could go back to Europe again also and take advantage of this season here, showcasing his abilities on the MLS Cup winning side. We'll see what happens. Cortez only went up 1 point. Very disappointing for the guy who was starting. Sebastian Leggett up to 75 overall. That's still growing. Powell up to 66. Perez up to 63. Milovic up to 74. Dunbar up to 76 overall. This man has potential to be special. So 90 plus rating and 21 years old. Awesome to see him growing at this level. And like I said before, a very strange technical ability. He has finishing, shot power, penalties, volleys are all perfect, but he has no long shots. He has no weak foot. He has no short passing ability. So not the best combination there in any manner due to that. He definitely needs to improve in some areas for sure. Looking at the dev plan, I was like, okay, yeah, we're definitely going to put him on a complete striker now. So that way you can have some more weak foot and better passing and stuff like that. But yeah, Haji Wright didn't grow either, unfortunately, to send you overall, but still a quality player nonetheless. Did help us out in the season. He came over to help relieve us after losing quite a few players. He has some good physical stats. His pace and strength are quality, so he's a bit of a different player to Dunbar, maybe more of a hold-up striker who can certainly feature more for us. But thank you guys, and anyways, for all the support here. You guys saw 2 MLS Cup wins in this episode, bringing that dynasty back to LA Galaxy, again being the class of MLS. Something many MLS fans do not want to see, but certainly I think if done right, will happen in real life, and you can make it happen in game. Certainly also. With that, guys, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed this series, this episode. Maybe we could put out another season or two. We'll see what happens. With that, thank you all for tuning in. I love you, my beautiful Chalupa lovers. Hit that like button. I'll be signing out now, and I'll catch you guys later.